Let's try this. Fifth time now? Yeah, I think it's the fifth time I'm trying to record this. And again, this is just a react, but I'm always going like a weird tangent. So we're just gonna get into the point. I'm gonna talk about this. This is the Vindiction, okay? Um Video about Path of Exile. This is not the one that everyone is like losing their mind over, like the PoE2 tourists. He does make some good points. However, I do want to talk about like an extremely important point. Well, technically 2 points that are kind of related to this. So yeah, let's just get into it. I skipped the intro because it's just a bunch of nothing.
Yo, what's up, chefs? It's Vinny, or in this case, I'm a self-ass eating donut, or whatever hilarious-ass thing Jungron was just talking about. And this is definitely going to be the most controversial video I've ever made, and hopefully ever will make. So look, I'm just going to say it straight up. The PoE2 community, or more specifically, the community that has been cultivated around a decent-sized chunk of the big-time streamers that effectively just want PoE2 to be a reskin of PoE1, is the most alarmist, cynical, and downright pessimistic gaming community that I've ever seen. And that
I don't care how pessimistic or what alarming they are. Like, I don't think that actually matters. I'm gonna say two things. One, I can understand the PoE1 community. They were kind of promised a revamp to their game, better graphics, all that stuff. Instead, they got PoE2. So now, obviously, they want PoE2 to be like PoE1. Okay, they supported the game since forever, right? They bought all the shit. They lost like 10 months with no seasons. Okay, so I get where they're coming from, but that being said, I don't think for GGG it is the correct move to make PoE2 like PoE1 unless they plan on replacing PoE1. Think about it. Everything in the money store, our real money transaction store, everything is shared. If you're targeting the same audience, that audience is kind of running out of shit to support you with. And the game is not a subscription based. It is you just pay one time and everything else is free. So unless they bring new blood into the game, they are putting in more resources into the game because now they have to upkeep two games, right? They're splitting their devs, more work because now they have to make a season every 2 months, right? But they're not getting more money. Why? Because the store is shared. And especially if they're only targeting the crowd that is already playing PoE1. So that crowd is not spending money. They need new blood if they want a new game. And if they make PoE2 like PoE1, I don't know how much new blood they're going to get. Maybe they'll get somebody comes in, pays for the game, plays a season, then it's like, I don't want to do the fucking campaign anymore again. Right? It's fucking, that's 2 days for like a regular player. Right? That's it's longer than PoE1 campaign. Right? Just to get to like the Atlas, which is just like a mindless grind, which is, by the way, same as like PoE1. Right? It looks as complex. And again, I'm talking about like from like a player who just started playing. I don't think it's more complex than PoE1. But if you look at it, it's like, oh, this looks like the same fucking complex shit that PoE1 has, right? There's so many things in PoE2 that are pain points similar to what PoE1 is to so many people who tried it and are now not playing it. Okay, just look at like max people who played PoE1 is like 250,000, I think, or like 300,000, and like each season has on like 100,000 players, which, by the way, fantastic retention, don't get me wrong. But if PoE2 is going to have, which by the way, it kind of does, I think it has like 150,000 players now. If PoE2 is going to have 150,000 players, they're making a second game insanely like advanced game that, in my opinion, requires a lot more development than PoE1, right? Because of like all the mechanics that they're throwing into it. And they're only getting 50,000 more players to play that game. And again, the game is not complete. I know. We'll see what happens on release. I'm just worried because I think it's a great game and I think it deserves its success. I'm just worried if you make PoE2 exactly like pretty much PoE1 upgraded, you're not going to get new blood in the game. You're going to get the same people who are already playing it and they're running out of things to buy.
means a fuck ton because I've played at the lowest and highest ranks of pretty much any grimy, disgusting competitive game you can think of. Talking Valorant, League, Rocket League, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, you name it. And even still, the level of just pure inability that these people have to be happy, positive, or even just provide an ounce of criticism that is constructive and void of being a shithead is actually pretty mind-boggling. And now, before you head down to the comments and say, Vinny, but those were just campaign bosses you showed. Well, number one, those were some of the final bosses of the campaign, and this video is being created in advance of when it's going to be posted to YouTube. So if somehow between T1 and T15 maps, which is where I'll probably be when this video actually makes it to YouTube, the game just turns on its head, and I'm not one-shotting my entire screen and killing bosses in 5 seconds, then I'll make sure to let you guys know, or I just won't post this video at all. But two...
By the way, something that PoE2 really needs to avoid is the one-shotting bosses. I'm not talking about like all just like make like a mitigating of damage or whatever. No, I don't like the solution last Epoch took with the fucking shields, okay? I don't think that's a good mechanic. But one-shotting bosses is kind of stupid. Like the discrepancy between damage is retarded. That you have builds that just one-shot, and then you have builds that like take forever to kill a boss. Okay, so you can't just like increase the HP of the boss. Right, you can't just give phases, invulnerability phases to every single boss, right? But they need to figure out this discrepancy. What's the point designing like these really great boss fights where the best way to do them is to just kind of skip them, just like fucking blow them up, like copy paste the build. And I get it, like, oh well, you know, just don't follow a guide. Okay, you do that once or twice. You don't follow a guide. You make your own build. Your build is like mediocre to garbage. At some point, you're gonna copy a guide, right? I think like following a guide for an ARPG is the death of the ARPG. Okay, just straight up following guides for a game that is designed to challenge your ability to put fucking Lego pieces together, and avoiding the whole concept of putting the Lego pieces together, I don't think that's a good thing. I hate guides for games that are just literally like this. Okay? They're just made around finding items, building the character the way you want. Okay? Following a guide is just like, that is like the, you know, bring in the coffin to the game.
99% of the clips I showed with streamers dogging the game, they were still in the campaign as well. And then finally, 3, you're kind of just a doofus because I don't know about your experience, but in my experience, my characters always get stronger, faster, and smoother the deeper into the game I progress, not the opposite. And surprise, surprise, that's usually how ARPGs just kind of...
That's kind of how it works in every game, like literally every game. The more you get into the game, the smoother the experience. The problem is the different, like how much is the like from not smooth to smooth, how big is that gap? Is it a fucking canyon or is it just a gap, right? Like, let's give you an example. Let's take Final Fantasy 14, right? Where it's like you start off, the reason you feel so clunky is because you don't have filler buttons, like most of the time, right? You don't have filler buttons. You have like 1 or 2 buttons that you keep pressing for your rotation, right? Like low levels. Then when you get more levels, right? It's like, let's say you got like 30 levels. Now you have like the 3 buttons for your rotation, but in between them you have like a button you can press that is off the GCD. Character starts feeling a bit smoother to play, right? So it's like, and then like you get to max level and you're literally just playing the piano if you're playing Thief or, you know, stuff like that. Okay. And like, and you build into it and it doesn't feel like a fucking, such a canyon. Here is like, you're getting all these abilities. Most of them you never use. He's using literally just like 2 abilities. If he has a boss, he's using 3 abilities. And it's like, you know? Like, it's very underwhelming. It's like you're not doing more, but the game just fucking blows everything up. Why? Because the interaction with the abilities is so fucking strong. Right? And honestly, let's be real. Even low level, right? Get like a, what do you call it? Like the lightning orb, throw it down, and pretty much use any lightning spell, and you're good to go. Right? And like that can be your game the whole time. And the only difference will be like how much it's penetrating, how long the ability lasts. So it's like, it depends. In my opinion, there's some broken interactions that need addressing to, and some interactions, like you can start them extremely early on, and if that's the game, that's the game, right? But it shouldn't be like, well, I'm using like, you know, Chaos Bolt or whatever it's called, and Contagion, going into, you know, using just Contagion, but like everything blows up like everywhere, like the whole map, right? You just put contagion on one guy, and everything just went to shit. Okay, like the whole map is cleared instantly. Okay, like that shouldn't happen. And by the way, I'm not saying that is what happens. I'm just giving you an example, like how big the gap can be in this game, right? You literally have like a build that's just like you blow up shit all over this, like you don't even see them for like another screen across. That's not a good interaction when the game starts off with just you being like running around white mobs, not being able to kill them. Okay, and half of the campaign is you running and dodging white mobs because you're gonna get overrun by white mobs. To get to a point where one ability, everything just blew up. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like that. And it can happen like legit with just like you found the one unique and that's it, like game over, right? Or like you found the one, what do you call it? Like, or you finally got to the level where like this one ability unlocks and completes your build, and the build just goes from like, you know, a 3 out of 10 in like a 3 Richter scale to like fucking 20 Richter scale, you know, the earthquake scale, whatever.
Work. And with that being said, I do just want to quickly clarify that not every streamer or viewer / chatter for that matter is fully guilty of this. I would say Darth microtransaction and Rax are perfect examples.
I actually disagree. Darth microtransaction is 100% guilty of what he's claiming. He's not as toxic, sure, but the stuff he says is bad about the game is like the minorest things, but he's completely like everything is great about this game. Even when it says like, oh, there's so many bad things about this game, oh, everything's great about this game. I'm sorry, I don't like, and again, if he's authentic and he believes it, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I just do not find him a reliable source in terms of like pluses and negatives. Rex, however, is actually pretty fucking fair and pretty fucking honest. I don't agree with him on the sprint, but everything else, I think he makes good points. Right, but again, I think the difference here is that Rex is talking to his community and making an actual chart, whereas DM just talks out of his ass straight up, right? Not in a negative term, but like he just, you know, talks. He doesn't like make a list, doesn't think about things. He's like, he just what he remembers, he talks about.
Here, where more often than not, they give actually constructive criticism. They talk about good things and bad things within the same 3 to 5 minute period. They don't just downright shit on the game, you know, over and over again. And even some of the ones that are actually pretty bad aren't always this bad. In particular, the worst of it usually always happens right at the launch of a new league. I mean, when I woke up and watched the streamer clips, etc., I thought I was having a fever dream because it actually felt like I was right back at the launch of Dawn of the Hunt, where for the first 2 to 3 days, everybody and their mother was just slamming PoE2, and ultimately GGG for how bad the game is, how incompetent the developers are, and the best one of all was, oh my god, the Huntress is just absolutely useless, dog shit, unplayable garbage. And meanwhile, myself, Fubgun, and I don't know who all else, but I'm sure there were others, had figured out the whole Lightning Spear plus Volt combo that literally just broke the entire game on day 2. And then following that was just countless other builds that came out and ended up being unbelievably strong, and you know, the game felt more than fine. And I'm not saying
didn't they also like make like some update to like increase the damage, or was that like 3 days after? Right. Well, to his point though, if people are not having fun at the beginning of the season, that is something that GGG needs to know about. Okay? If you have Alkaiser, I think that's his name, the guy with the long hair, right? You have him saying, and he's one-shotting everything pretty much from the beginning. He went for, you know, the dead shot, whatever, fucking headhunt. Dead shot? Like the ranger specialization, right? He went for that, and he's been having a blast kind of. He's been like destroying everything. He didn't have a problem with the campaign. He got to maps, just fucking one-shotting shit. And even he says, like, I feel like I'm at a job, like I feel like I'm working. I don't feel like I'm playing a game. And then you have people who have a build that is kind of shit, right? Like you had the early footage of the what do you call it? The weaponless monk, the hollow palm or whatever, right? You had people playing that, and they were like barely killing 3, and they're not having fun. So where are we trying to be in this game for it to be fun? It's not the one-shotting, and it's not the fucking barely killing, right? Is it something in the middle? Like, again, I kind of had fun with Contagion, okay? But that's because I don't want to deal with shit, right? I literally played, the way I played the game, first of all, I played softcore. If I played hardcore, I'd probably hate this, right? But I play softcore. I just fucking run, gather a bunch of mobs, throw Contagion, fucking run in circles, and they all die. Okay, that's not very fun. It's just very efficient. Just fucking skipping through everything. I don't think I should be able to skip through everything. But also, I don't think the map should be as big for me to feel like I need to skip through everything. Right? It's like, you can't expect me to play slow in a game that has such huge maps. I don't want to spend an hour on a map, okay? The map's already like fucking huge and, and like mazy, okay? And by the way, I'm not even talking about Act 3 or 4. In my opinion, Act 1 and 2 maps are too big for what the game is designed to be. Okay, you want slow, meaningful combat? Dude, decrease the amount of maps, decrease the size of the maps. Or give us a fucking torrent and let us just run to our destination. If we'll be under leveled, we can go back and fucking refarm to get to a higher level. Okay? But like, you gotta decide, because like you can't have two conflicting designs here where you have a huge map and you want us to go slow. People are going to try and break that. They're gonna try and make a very fast build that goes fast, AoEs, and just runs forward. Why? Because nobody wants to stand still in an ARPG. Okay, and the only time you can make people stand still in an ARPG to like not blow shit up, you have to make a lot of strong monsters, decrease the amount of monsters, but also decrease the size of the fucking map and decrease how many maps you need in order to fucking finish the campaign. Or the map. Or how many maps you are going to need to get to the Arbiter or whatever, right? You can't have it both ways. You can't expect people to go slow, which, by the way, the design doesn't fucking follow it, realistically. It's like, if you go slow, your build sucks, or you just nuke everything, right? And then you need to do like fucking 50 to 100 maps to get an Arbiter challenge, right? It's like, fuck me, man. Right? Let alone the campaign. I still didn't finish Act 4. Honestly, I can't even be bothered to finish Act 4. I do like one map, like I finish like one zone, maybe two, and I'm like, dude, I'm done for the day. Like, it's painful, right? And I'm not doing shit. I'm doing shit damage on bosses. Sure, I get to experience their mechanics though, so I'll learn something while I'm playing. I don't have a hard time with the mobs or whatever, but it's like, it's such a chore.
Game's perfect, don't get me wrong. Obviously, they did make some patches back then that definitely helped the quality of life, and the game ultimately has tons of issues. But let's just be objective and honest with ourselves for a second. There is a reason that PoE2 is the most popular ARPG to ever exist that wasn't created by Blizzard, and this will probably come as a shock, but it's not because the game sucks or because the game has horrible balance.
Why is PoE the most popular game that was not created by Blizzard? Well, because PoE1 exists. Like, realistically speaking, because PoE1 exists, that's why PoE2 is popular. And because D4 fumbled the bag, that's why PoE2 is popular. Like, let's be real here for a second, okay? It's not because PoE2 is in a fucking amazing state. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a good game. I think you can see like where it's going, and I think it'll be an amazing game. Sure. It's not at the moment, okay? You have two, 3 conflicting designs throughout the whole fucking game. Okay, like with the balance, with the maps, and with what your character is supposed to do versus what the monsters are trying to do. Okay, like your character is still playing PoE1 for like 3.5, 4 acts, right? Monsters are playing PoE2 since, Act 1 basically. Like that didn't change, right? And the biggest complaint of them all was the size of the maps is fucking like, it's too much. Right? That people have to make builds that fucking fly. Why? Because they don't want to deal with the map. They just want to get the fuck out of there. Go in, where's the fucking exit, okay? So that's why it's popular, okay? It's popular because PoE1, like, it was the only ARPG for like 12 years. Like, realistically speaking, it was. Okay? D4 fumbled the bag. Which, by the way, I still think D4 has more players than PoE2, because it's just way more casual friendly. Okay, Last Epoch is just an up and newcomer. And, dude, for an up and newcomer to have a higher peak, and I would say in many cases, maybe like not peak season, but like in many cases, Last Epoch retains more players. like for the duration of the season than PoE1. Again, because everyone's playing PoE2. I get it. But that doesn't work really in favor of PoE2. So if we move all the players from PoE2 back to the PoE1, okay, they'll have more players than last epoch. But how many players are really left in PoE2? Not that many, right? Like maybe 50k. And again, this is like he's showing the peak for the season. This is not the reality of the case. It's like less than half of this.
Created by Blizzard, and this will probably come as a shock, but it's not because the game sucks or because the game has horrible balance, but it's because the game is actually well on its way to becoming an absolute masterpiece. I mean, a lot of the pieces...
I doubt this will be a masterpiece. I'll be honest, I doubt this will be a masterpiece.
The puzzle are already there, especially when it comes to the thematics, atmosphere, music design, gameplay feel, campaign. I mean, I could go on and on about what this game does so well, but it is still being held back, of course, primarily with issues surrounding the end-game experience, build diversity.
The thing is, he can go on and on say what the game does so well. I can go on and say what the game doesn't do well. That doesn't matter. Like, you're at 0.3.
etc., things of that nature. But even the problems it has are still nowhere near overcoming everything it does just so well. Now, at this point, you're probably asking yourself, okay, so who cares if some of the big streamers are super negative towards the game at the beginning of a new league? Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's probably the worst time for them to do it.
No, it's
Let me paint you a picture here real quick. Just imagine that you're a fairly average player who has a few hours a day to play games, and you're thinking about whether or not you want to try out the new league. Maybe on your break at work or your drive home, you slap on one of your favorite streamers and ask them for their opinion on the patch, and they just ruthlessly shit all over it. But then...
if that is the honest situation, that is exactly what you want from the streamers. It is literally their job to play the game, and then if you ask them how the game is, and because you trust their opinion, because that's why you're watching them, to give you a realistic answer. And yes, if they're not enjoying the game, they shouldn't be shilling for the game. Okay, they should be being fucking honest. Hey, game is not in a good state right now. I don't know if you want to spend time on this. It's like, oh no, GGG is not gonna get this person to log in. Who gives a fuck? This is not a pay to play. There's no sub fee. If the player already had the fucking game, he's not spending more.
Not only that, these are the guys that play the game 12 plus hours a day and should in theory be blasting through the campaign, making it look pretty easy, but then you see them struggling to kill white mobs in Act 3, and now the chance...
They really shouldn't be struggling to kill white mobs. Man, that gives a really bad image to people who don't play the game.
Is that this average player decides to just skip out on this league altogether is for all intents and purposes 100%. Because surely, if your favorite streamer who plays the game for their job is struggling, then how are you going to have fun when you've got a few hours a day at best?
Excellent point. Excellent point. That is why they should be saying that the game is fucking trash if it is trash, okay? Not that saying that it is, I'm just saying that if they are saying it and it is the case, they should be saying it. Why would a player who doesn't have time, who has fucking 10 wives and 500 kids and 20 jobs and he works, 100 hours a day, why should that person spend time playing the game that even the streamers are not enjoying? That he trusts, that have similar tastes to his. Why should he? Oh, it's bad for GGG. Bro, who gives a fuck? If it's bad for GGG, it's their fault. If GGG cannot bring the players to play, it's their fault, not the players, not the streamers who are not enjoying themselves.
So yeah, I don't know, I could go on forever about the negative effects this type of stuff has on games, but ultimately the proof is definitely in the pudding. Go look on Reddit, go look on any PoE2 clips channel, and it's just filled with negativity, and it would be one thing...
I would love if you played Dark Souls inside of PoE. I love No Rest for the Wicked. I think it's a great game. I think it's lacking, there's not enough content, but again, very small studio. So for what the studio is, I think the game's amazing. Right? It has issues, don't get me wrong. It's not perfect. It has issues. Right? I wish the bosses in PoE were closer to Elden Ring, Dark Souls type than what they are in many cases. Would be fucking amazing. But I can't expect that. This is still an ARPG, right? You don't have fucking proper iframes. You don't have the most accurate hitbox for the boss, right? The boss can just slash forward, and your character might not even be inside of that slash, and you would still get hit. Why? Because that's how it is. This is not gonna be a Dark Souls game.
it was 100% warranted, like the game was just genuinely dog shit, but it's clearly not. So it's kind of a shame because the game really deserves more credit, especially if you try and put yourself in the shoes of the developers. They just spent
Just the fact that they keep coming back every season, giving it a try, I don't think the game deserves more credit. It is getting the amount of credit that it deserves. I don't think the game deserves so much credit that you cannot say when things are bad. That is kind of stupid.
months working their ass off to get this massive content update out, fully aware of the fact that the community's initial reception of it is extremely important. And then a lot of the biggest content creators are just dumping on it within the first 24 hours. And you can't really come back from that. It's just like, boom, without them even having time to get
What do you mean they can't come back from that? This is not a sub game. I said this before. Anyways, I don't think he says anything more important than what he already said. I think we got the point, okay? I think some takes were kind of okay. But this is what every single content creator is missing, man. This is what bothers me the most. Why the fuck are we getting a seasonal mechanics? Fuck it. Why do we even have seasons in this game right now? This is an early access. Stop treating it like a freaking released game. I don't give a shit about a seasonal mechanic that is going to go away. I care about, give me the druid. Give me, oh my god, give me swords. Okay? Give me the other warrior that is going to be there. Give me the paladin or whatever he's called, crusader. I don't know what, like, the guy that uses that looks like a paladin. I don't know what the fucking name is. Okay? Give me those guys. And honestly, you know who I really want them to give me? The Seraph or whatever. The one that starts in the middle. Okay, the one that starts at the center. Okay, give me her so I can fucking go wherever I want on the tree. Okay? I want her, realistically speaking. But give me classes, give me weapons. Okay? Give way more skills. Okay? I know there's a lot of skills. They feel really, really like there isn't a lot of skills. Okay? That's what I want. I want you to make the game, to finish the freaking product. I don't need you to waste time on making these seasonal mechanics as fun and as good as they can be and overpowered. I don't give a fuck, man. This seasonal mechanic, this fucking void, like this green shit. Right? Where is it? Yeah, this green shit, man, this is going away. This is not staying. I don't care about this. This doesn't mean anything. Let us test, let us get to the point where we are trying out the new shit. Okay? Stop working on weird ass balances every patch. How is it that to this day, with the amount, like, they don't even have half of their classes, or they have like maybe exactly half of their classes available, and you still don't even have balance, but you're wasting your time. You don't even have anything resembling a balance between the builds, but you're working on this stupid ass mechanic that honestly you could have saved it for like the actual release. Why the fuck do we have this? As fun and as overpowered as it can be. I don't give a shit. Okay? I want the game to finish, to release properly. They delayed the druid by like 2 seasons, and honestly, I don't even care about the druid. But why the fuck is the druid delayed? Just the druid is more important than anything they released in the season 3. Just having the druid would have been more beneficial to the game in terms of testing, in terms of like all the balance and stuff. That would have been more beneficial to the game than releasing this content, than wasting time on this content. Because now what's going to happen? Next season comes out, right? Still in fucking beta. You're gonna get the druid, let's say, right? Maybe a weapon. Then you're gonna get pretty much still half of the characters still not available to play. Right? Let's see, you have like the whatever goes with monk, the whatever goes with mercenary, the whatever goes with warrior, right? And then you have the paladin type, right? So you have at least 4 classes that we are kind of aware of that are not going to be in the game. At least 4. So you're going to release the druid and you're going to give us maybe another seasonal mechanics? Like, why? Just fucking give us 2 characters then. I don't stop with the temporary seasonal mechanics. Fix what you already made to begin with. Fix that. Get like a nice standard line of like what you expect this game to be at each point of the game. Balance that shit out. Okay? add characters to it, add more classes that deal with it, balance it around what you're expecting the difficulty to be, finish developing the game, release the game, do seasonal mechanics. I don't know why no one is like fucking mentioning this. It's like, bro, stop releasing seasons. Stop wasting time on these fucking useless mechanics. Okay? This shit, the green shit, is not staying. The balance of it is not staying. The OP-ness of this is not staying. There are bugs with it right now where you can re-gamble on the stat that gets unlocked, that you can keep re-gambling on it, right? For free. Guess what? They're gonna waste the development time fixing it. What? Just release the fucking game. Just do the important shit. That's all I'm asking. Do the important shit. Is it so much to ask? I guess it is.